Fifth Avenue, the grandest boulevard in America. Hi, I'm Bill Riley, and I'm outside the Metropolitan Museum of Art here in New York City. You know, just a few days from now, tens of thousands of people are going to be marching up this street, proud as ever. You know, this part of Fifth Avenue is known as Museum Mile, but it could just as easily be called Mansion Mile. The Astor and the Vanderbilt mansions were right down the street, and right here, the Metropolitan Museum of Art is a mansion itself. But all this work was done by Irish stonecutters, people who gave their talents to build this city and make it great. You see those heads on the top of the Metropolitan Museum of Art? They were carved by an Irishman who came here when he was only 16 years old. He was an Irish immigrant, like so many thousands of others who came and made this city a great city and contributed to its history. He happened to have been my great-grandfather, John Cullen. Did you know that the St. Patrick's Day Parade is 262 years old, older than America itself? This parade has personal history for me because my life changed one St. Patrick's Day about a decade ago. I'd like to take you down there, right down the street on Fifth Avenue where it happened. I was walking down this street. I had just come from Fifth Avenue and I had been watching the parade. And I was watching these great marching bands and all in step, feeling very proud and very Irish. And out of the corner of my eye, right here, I saw this kid. He couldn't have been any more than 22 years old. He was holding a can of beer in his hand and he was drunk as a skunk. And so were all of his friends, equally wasted. And all around me, I'm seeing a lot of drunk people. But what really caught my eye was this t-shirt he was wearing. And the t-shirt said, St. Patrick's Day today, hung over tomorrow. And I went up to him and I said, that's a pretty wild t-shirt, where'd you get that? And he said, I got it in the mall in New Jersey where I live. They sell 1 million of them, isn't it cool? And then I realized, for so many people, this day is just about getting wasted. It's not why it was originally created. It's about celebrating Irish culture and who we are as a people and what we've given to other people and who St. Patrick himself was. And so, Sober St. Patrick's Day and the idea for it was born right here 10 years ago.
Welcome everybody from all over the world to Sober St. Patrick's Day 2022. I am your co-host Samantha Kelly. In Ireland I'm known here as the Tweeting Goddess, but I best like to think of myself as the Emerald Isle's biggest fan of this movement, Sober St. Patrick's Day. So many people have said to me here in Ireland, thank God for this, what a great idea, and it's one we can all be proud of. So on that note, at this very moment, I have been asked to herald in the second decade of Sober St. Patrick's Day as we come to the end of the 10th anniversary year. Well done to all the people in New York and now in Ireland who have made these past 10 years possible and helped spawn a movement that will only grow larger through these roaring 20s. And thank you for lending us your ear. How fitting it is that just 2 hours ago, my friends in New York marched up Fifth Avenue in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Well deserved. In fact, Sober St. Patrick's Day was only one of 2 new organisations who were invited to march in the parade this year. And we will be posting some great photos later on tonight. And as Tweeting Goddess, you can count on me to do lots of tweets as well. Let's get the show started. From New York City, let's welcome a group of kids who know a thing or two about moving their feet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Donny Golden Dancers. And now, please welcome my co-host over there in the Big Apple. He's a member of the Sober St. Patrick's Day Board of Directors and its treasurer, Mr. Jim Frawley. Jim?
Thanks, Sam. I'm sitting here in Central Park, which I think of as the center of the world. Like Sam said earlier, a contingent of us just walked right by here, all in step, proudly marching up Fifth Avenue in this year's New York City parade. Believe me, marching under a large banner that read Sober St. Patrick's Day, with our tagline, Reclaim the Day, certainly turned a few heads in Manhattan. And I bet on TV, too. I heard all along the sidewalks comments like, good for you guys, and go for it. However, I also saw a few faces of total bewilderment. I'm sure that Sam will be posting photos and videos later tonight if she hasn't already. Part of our mission is not only to reclaim the day on St. Patrick's Day, but also to reclaim the meaning of the Irish word sláinte. Sláinte actually translates in English to health. And somehow, I think that health is not exactly what's on the mind of people when they raise their glasses for a toast on St. Patrick's Day. For some, I fear it's more like, let's get wasted. By the way, we're not at all against people having a drink on St. Patrick's Day. The last thing that we want to do is rain on anyone's parade. We're simply against people having 8 or 9 or 20 drinks on St. Patrick's Day and making us all look a little ridiculous. Particularly our young people, for whom binge drinking is on the uptick. We know that this movement has begun to change that. That said, let's get back to our party. Besides the Dunny Golden Dancers, we've been doubly blessed to have each year some of the best known Irish traditional musicians in the world. Led again by John Whelan, please welcome Brian Conway, Brendan Dolan, Jerry O'Sullivan, and Dylan Foley.
I think Sober St. Pat's band should tour Ireland. Can you just imagine the signs outside the pub? Tonight, Sober St. Pat's? I don't think so. Seriously though, John Whelan, our musical director, has played in every single one of our annual parties, and last year John celebrated his 50th year in showbiz. Mind you, he was a child prodigy. John won the first of 7 All-Ireland championships when he was 12 years old. He's still at it and he's still the best. He will be touring Ireland this spring. His tour begins the last week in March. For more details, go to wildatlanticmusictours.com. Speaking of child prodigies, Ireland discovered another new prodigy this year. When I first heard Una Walsh playing the harp, I couldn't believe that she was hard of hearing. I met up with Una recently. Have a listen for yourself. Una, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. It's so lovely to meet you. Oh my gosh, I was so proud when I saw you on the Late Late Toy Show. Well done. Well done you. Tell me a little bit about, you're hard of hearing, yeah?
Yeah.
And what do you think of all the attention you're getting?
It's really positive. I've got loads of messages from other hard of hearing people as well, so I get really happy.
What is it you find about the harp that's so alluring?
I don't know, I just love it. I love the look of it and I love the strings.
Very soon after the pandemic hit New York, Sober St. Patrick's Day was able to bring on a terrific woman to be our executive director. She lives and breathes this organization like no one I've ever seen at any not-for-profit. She's beloved in the New York Irish American community as a dedicated, deeply caring, and super smart leader. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our executive director, Miss Tammy Ellen McLaughlin.
Thanks, Jim. We are grateful to all of our donors, our corporate sponsors, government grants, family foundations, and individual donors. Your support, both large and small, has provided us with the resources necessary to expand our reach. Thank you for supporting our mission and investing in this movement. I would like to take a moment to recognize 4 of our major sponsors. PepsiCo has been our event sponsor since day one, providing financial support and their incredible Pepsi products for all of us to enjoy. Mons Concepit Foundation, under the auspices of the Whelan family, started their support in 2020 and set the stage for the 10th anniversary of reclaiming the true spirit of St. Patrick's Day. The team at the Consulate of Ireland in New York was very helpful in Sober St. Patrick's Day's application for its first Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade's Immigrant Support Program. We were awarded a $10,000 grant in 2021, a tangible expression of the Irish government's support of and commitment to the global Irish community. Thank you. And J6 Media Works is the video production company that produced this show. For over a decade, Ed Roy and his team have created videos to help us share our story. They also create content for other organizations who work in addiction recovery and 12-step programs. Ed and his team recently finished a film for Stepping Stones, the historic home of Bill and Lois Wilson, the co-founders of AA and Al-Anon. Thanks to a new connection with Stepping Stones Foundation, we have the privilege to be the first to share a short teaser of their new film. Here it is.
Lois and Bill were opening their doors to strangers. And I think there was a great lesson that we all learned from them about community and helping others.
Speaking at one of the conventions, Lois shared with the audience that she felt all of them were her children, that was the kind of relationship they had with these recovering alcoholics.
One of America's greatest exports is the program of recovery that is the 12 Steps, which was drafted by Bill W. Stepping Stones is where Bill and Lois Wilson helped AA and Al-Anon to blossom worldwide. This is where they nurtured it.
They were ordinary people doing truly extraordinary things. Truly extraordinary things.
Okay, time to kick out the jams again. Please welcome back the Dunny Golden School of Irish Dance. Donny Carroll, County Cork's Man of the Year in 2010 and 2016, has graced us with his musical talents at Sober St. Patrick's Day. Well, we got him again for you this year. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donny Carroll.
Tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush a buckle, hush and listen, and his cheeks are all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon. With your pike upon your shoulder, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. With your pike upon your shoulder, at the rising of the moon. Oh, then tell me, Sean O'Farrell, where the gathering is to be. In the old spot by the river, quite well known to you and me. One word more for signal token, whistle up the marching tune. And to raise me voice for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. 'Tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon. Hooray me boys for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. Out from many a mud wall cabin, eyes were watching through the night. Many a manly heart was throbbing for the blessed morning light. A cry rose along the valley like the banshee's morning crew, and 1,000 guns were flashing at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. 1,000 guns were flashing at the rising of the moon. Well, they fought for their old Ireland, full bitter was their fate. Of our glorious men behind us were the men of 98. Dead to every foe and traitor, whistle up the marching tune. And to raid me boys for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon. Hooray me boys for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon. With a pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Getting hungry? Check out the book St. Patrick's Plate by Chef Terry McCoy. The best gourmet recipes with the best natural ingredients, all found in Ireland. They're so good and natural, in fact, that St. Patrick himself could have eaten them in the 5th century, and perhaps even prepared them for St. Bridget. Chef Terry has used his creative cooking skills and Irish imagination to make these healthy recipes even tastier than that for a 21st century palate. Here's Terry McCoy.
Hi, I'm Terry McCoy, the author of the book St. Patrick's Plate. The book was inspired by all things St. Patrick and what he might have eaten on Church Island when he came over here to Christianise Ireland. The island is just off Skerries, so Skerries is very proud that this was his first home place. So the book is inspired by all fresh ingredients that Patrick would have had available while he traversed Ireland. So it's a very healthy diet, and I suggest you look up and try and get the last few copies of it now. The second edition is about to come out, so it probably will be later this year. So I believe all you sober St. Patrick gang are marching for the first time ever in the St. Patrick's Day parade. I really hope you have a fabulous day.
Back again this year is the great Liz McNicholl to sing a new tune for us. It's one close to my heart, as I too am a girl who pines away to cross the ocean to America. So many of our young Irish women have left our land for good, only to make America an even greater country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Liz McNicholl and company with The Girl from Dunlow.
Oh, then fair thee well, sweet Donegal, the rosses and greet o'er. I'm crossing the main ocean, where the foaming billows roar. It breaks my heart from you to part, where I spent many happy days. Farewell to kind relations, I am bound for America. Oh, then Mary, you're my heart's delight, my pride and only care. It was your cruel father would not let me stay here, but absence made till I return again.
Our Emerald Spirit Award is given annually to an individual who changes lives.
The award honors extraordinary dedication to improving the lives of family members of alcoholics and addicts.
It also salutes an under-recognized community of dedicated advocates who work with family members collaterally affected by the disease of addiction.
And this year's winner has appeared on Larry King Live, The Oprah Winfrey Show, Good Morning America, and National Public Radio. He is the author of several books, including Broken, My Story of Addiction and Redemption, a New York Times bestselling memoir.
He is the Vice President of Public Affairs and Community Relations for Hazelton Betty Ford Foundation based in Minnesota, and as the organization's public advocate, he carries the messages about addiction, treatment, and recovery to audiences across the nation. We are excited to announce this year's winner,
William Cope Moyers.
There is a lot of rich history around the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York City. I'm told the first parade was in 1762, and that's a long time ago. But this year, we are making more history, new history, the very first St. Patrick's Day Parade that features we, sober people, people in recovery from addiction. Hooray! And I am deeply touched, not only to march in the parade, but to be this year's Sober St. Patrick's Day Emerald Spirit Award honoree. Who, me? Go figure. You see, it was 33 years ago that I was at my bottom, struggling with addiction to alcohol and other drugs, struggling right here in New York City. For too long, starting in the mid-1970s when I was a teenager growing up in the bucolic suburbs of Long Island, I had been slowly yet steadily caught up in the grip of mood and mind-altering substances. Yet I was too ashamed to ask for help. I thought I should be able to just say no and stop on my own and stay stopped. But every time I stopped, every time I vowed to not use, or maybe to use differently, well, you know what happened. Very quickly, I ended up desperate, without hope, scared to ask for help, and not sure where to turn. 33 years ago, in 1989, not far from where we are celebrating today, my family saved me from the clutches of my alcoholism and my drug dependence. And thus, my road to recovery started here in New York City, took me to Minnesota for treatment at Hazelton, and all these decades later, here I am back in New York City, marching in a parade, sober and grateful, and sharing this historic moment with Bill Riley and all of you. Women and men and families willing to use our faces and our voices to share, to celebrate the power and possibility of recovery, not just on St. Patrick's Day, but every day through life on life's terms, one day at a time, together, the power of we. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey with all of you.
Sober St. Patrick's Day. To many people, totally impossible. But there are 500 people down the street from where I'm standing now who are still celebrating, and they are still sober.
That was McGee Hickey from Pix 11 News 10 years ago. We caught up with her just the other day, and she insisted on sharing a few thoughts with us 10 years after. McGee?
Hi, I'm McGee Hickey from Pix 11. 10 years ago, I had the pleasure of covering the first sober St. Patrick's, and it meant so much to me because growing up in New York City, going to the Convent of the Sacred Heart on 91st and 5th, the St. Patrick's Day Parade would end at 86th Street, and then I would see, as a little girl, all these people who'd had too much to drink and people were getting sick. And being an Irish American should not mean getting sick because you've had too much to drink on St. Patrick's Day. I came from a family of no drinkers at all in my family because up a few generations, they all had the curse of alcoholism. So I applaud sober St. Patrick's. We all can celebrate being Irish and not drink a lot.
Here's County Kerry's Mary Courtney singing the gripping tune Mandela, but with some meaningful images added to help tell this tender tale. Take it away, Mary.
I went to see a legend just the other night. Yankee Stadium underneath the lights. I heard a man speak there after years and years in jail. His name it was Mandela, and he came to tell his tale. Well, the crowd cheered him loudly, but then the silence fell as he spoke of the hard years in a South African cell. And although he was free now, his heart was still in pain, for his country and his people still wore apartheid's chains. He said he hoped that we would join him as we walk down freedom's path. And these miles would be the hardest, but they would be the last. And to join our hands together so that we might be as one, to find ourselves the courage so this battle could be won. I went home that same evening, went to sleep and had a dream. I was standing in a cold rain in an Irish field of green, and all around me headstones of the martyrs of the past. I stood there in silence, and they spoke to me at last. Kevin Barry is my name, and I died in the hangman's noose. They wanted the names of my comrades, but this I would not do. And I am Roger Casement, and I died in London town for bringing German rifles to the lonely Bannistrand. James Connolly is my name, the working people were my life. When they shot me down in Kilmainham jail, it brought great civil strife. And I am Padraig Pearse, and I was murdered by the foe as I read the proclamation from the steps of the GPO. Well, the last voice that I heard said my name is Bobby Sands, and it's good to hear Mandela's words ringing through the lands. I hope they hear him up in Belfast and Derry and Tyrone. Maybe then those English soldiers will know it's time to go home. I awoke in the morning, nothing made sense at all. Who would believe they would knock down the Berlin Wall? Well, they freed Nelson Mandela, or could this really be? Maybe now we will see Ireland reunited and free. Maybe now we will see Ireland reunited and free.
Hi everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm Kristen Shaughnessy. For more than 2 decades, I loved covering St. Patrick's Day in New York. And now my husband Joe and I are excited about pitching the idea of bringing a sober St. Patrick's Day to the second largest parade that happens in the United States. Can you guess what that city is? Of course, New York has the largest and the best St. Patrick's Day parade. We will tell you what the second largest parade is coming up.
Leading us up Fifth Avenue today in New York St. Patrick's Day Parade was our sister city's marching band from Enders Island in Mystic, Connecticut, the St. Edmunds Pipes and Drums. Here they are getting ready for the big day.
You know, Bill, I really love Philip O'Reilly's take on his sober St. Patrick's Day party in Dublin. He hosted it right next to Temple Bar, the mecca of all heavy drinking in Dublin.
Next year, thanks to Christian Shaughnessy's efforts, the next city we'll be going after to host a sober St. Patrick's Day party is home to the second largest parade in the U.S. It's massive. And it's not Boston or Philly. It's actually down south in Savannah, Georgia. I kid you not. Knowing Kristen and her husband Joe, they're sure to turn some heads of the city officials when they pitch doing a sober St. Patrick's Day 2023 Southern style.
The Donny Golden Dancers is coming right up. You'll first want to meet the genius behind these dancers, the man who trained them, as well as a very young Jean Butler, who later went on to fame in the original production of a little show called Riverdance. He's literally trained thousands of young boys and girls in America, and he is now in his 50th anniversary as star dancer and teacher. His name is, well, Johnny Golden.
I just love to share what I have learned and the love of art I have. And what makes it great for me is that when I see kids that really want to learn and love it, and it just fills my heart. Some of these kids here dancing, their moms or dads danced for me years ago, so it's really a great thing. Pass it on. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all, and have a great time.
This program doesn't happen simply by hardworking people like Tamiel and McLaughlin and our board of directors. We rely on people like you for donations, however small they might be, or however large. As treasurer of Sober St. Patrick's Day, I'd like to thank in particular the Whelan family and the Mons Concepit Foundation for underwriting some of this YouTube premiere expenses. However, as with any not-for-profit, we have additional costs. So I'd ask you to seriously consider making a donation to keep this movement moving. It's easy. Just go to our website, soberstpatricksday.org, and click on the donate button on our homepage. Now, back to my co-host in Ireland, Sam Kelly. Sam?
Thanks for being with us, folks. It's been so much fun. By the way, if you've friends and family who've missed the show, we will be rebroadcasting later this evening, tomorrow, and throughout the month of March. It'll be right on our homepage, www.soberstpatricksday.org, along with info on our running club and other new digital events. Good night, all. I loved sharing my love of Ireland with you. I hope that you will spread the good cheer and love that makes St. Patrick's Day the most widely celebrated national holiday in the world.
Bill, is this license plate real?
Yeah, it is. I used to have it on my car when I still lived in New York during the first several years of sober St. Patrick's Day. I used to love watch people come zipping by on the highway, giving me a thumbs up. In fact, I'm sure half of them were in recovery.
But how would you know that?
Well, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't be surprised because that's where millions of people have really learned to say thank you from the bottom of their heart more fully.
I agree.
Folks, there's plenty of help out there, whether you've got a problem with drink or drugs, or you're a family member of someone who does. Look at the great work that people like William Cope Moyers have done for 25 years at the Hazelton Betty Ford Foundation. And our board members, Sis Gallagher-Wenger, Pat O'Gorman, and John Coppola, who are recipients of the Emerald Spirit Award. They truly changed lives, and they've changed whole families.
I agree, Bill. And we are grateful to our other board members, our co-hosts today, Jim Frawley, Elizabeth Stack, Emily Whelan, and Father Tom Hoare, who helped us march up Fifth Avenue in our very first New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade, led by his St. Edmund's Pipes and Drums Band. And lastly, a huge shout out to the key people who have helped make this event a success over the last decade, Betty Carroll and Carrie Keyes.
And there are plenty more people to thank, and you'll see them in the closing credits accompanied with our final piece of entertainment.
Please consider joining me in just 6 months' time from now for our second annual Halfway to St. Patrick's Day 5K run right here in Central Park. If you're in Ireland or anywhere else in the world, you could join us digitally and run wherever your heart may be longing for St. Patrick's Day. Our 5K run or walk will be held on Saturday, September 17th, 2022, hopefully with the pandemic more fully in our rearview mirrors. And on that note, and speaking of running, may the road rise up to meet you, and may the wind be at your back. And I think you know the rest. And, as they say in Savannah, Georgia, schlancha, y'all. And hey, Savannah, as Bill said, we're coming for you next. It's been great hanging with you today, folks. Bill, back to you.
For those who know the story of St. Patrick, they know that he saved Western civilization. Think about this for a moment. Patrick was a former slave who risked everything when he returned to the land of the people who for 6 years had previously enslaved him. He dared to go back to Ireland and also forgave his captors and their kings. And in forgiving them, he converted their hearts. I've often thought that's why the Irish are the kindest and the most welcoming people on the planet. Spreading that message is also at the core of our mission at Sober St. Patrick's Day. So this coming year, on our website, there'll be several DVDs and books available about St. Patrick, the man and the saint. He often goes absent in some celebrations today, his day. For the wee ones, you can download for free from our homepage this booklet, The Story of St. Patrick. We offer it thanks to the generosity of the Ancient Order of Hibernians and the St. Patrick's Centre in Downpatrick, Northern Ireland. And for adults, we'll be starting the SSSPD Irish Book Club this summer, so check that out too. And finally, this fall, we plan to organize our first Sober Tour of Ireland. Think about joining a small group of us as we travel the wild Atlantic Way along the magnificent west coast of Ireland. So stay tuned, as it'll be first come, first served for a group of 7 to 15 lucky souls. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. He was one heck of a guy. Thanks for watching.